Ryan with Lead 411, and today we'll be going over the differences between our news and my triggers. So the big thing with the data that we have pulled up on this first page on the dashboard is always going to be what we consider basic sales triggers, and we call them basic sales triggers because they are built off of press releases. All of these triggers are available for our free trial and all of our paid accounts. You can customize this information in the setup news in the right hand corner. For my example today, I have it filtered through just the industry as SaaS, but you can go in here and type in multiple different industries, different territories, company sizes. You also have the option to follow specific companies. So if there's always a company you do want to know if anything changes, you can add them to your following. So that way, when you wake up in the morning, and if this company opened up a new location, received funding, or had a new executive start, those are the type of emails we send you through the basic triggers. And just to show you a few examples from my SaaS industry, we have that funding finance information, how much funding they received, and what they're spending that funding on if they share it with us. Here are those new executives, mostly director levels and higher, who have recently started at companies. We also track new locations, mergers, acquisitions. Sometimes that can create different opportunities. Distressed companies. We file companies who are filing bankruptcy, doing large amounts of staff cuts, or resignations from C-level executives. Just information that lets us know these companies may not be in growth mode, but instead of a distress. Some of the other ones we'll have in here are contracts and hiring plans. So all of these basic triggers, again, are included with all of our accounts. For the enterprise account, you do get access to My Triggers. And the nice thing about My Triggers is you can customize this information based on what you would like to see. So in here in the trigger setup in the right-hand corner, this is where I can go in and create different triggers. So for our example today, we're going to be looking at SaaS sales. And the step 2, I'm going to look at all companies who have received funding. I am open to any rounds of funding, so that is what we're going to select it. I leave the spending on open just because some companies are very secure about what they'll mention they're going to spend that spending on. So sometimes they'll say undisclosed or they won't mention anything. And since we put in sales, that's the title I'm going to be searching for. So I want to find any company that has sales or chief sales officers. I will also select my industry with SaaS and make sure we're looking at verified emails. So when I save this trigger, now I'm only going to be looking at software companies who have received funding, and I'm getting exactly to the sales contacts. So when I go to my results, this is where I can log in each morning. I export this list of companies who have received this funding, and I reach out and congratulate them on their funding and check to see if outbound sales are on their product roadmap for receiving that funding. That's one of the options for triggers. As you saw in here, we have tons of different ones you could manipulate and build lists on specifically your needs. So instead of receive funding, we also have the new executives that start there, or employee new role or position, or companies who are opening up a lot of job openings or different locations. So feel free to go ahead and use as many of the custom triggers as you want. The only one that you can have one set of criteria for is the basic sales triggers underneath My News. Great, feel free to reach out to Lead 411 directly with any other questions.